Welcome to Viking Football with Bruce Barnum, Spring Edition. That's right, spring has sprung. Spring football practice begins today. It is April 5th. We're on the field. The Vikings just completed their first practice of the spring. And, Coach, exciting time. A lot of things going on this spring. And you got good weather. We had a rough winter, but we got good weather from day one. Let's take that as an omen.
We did. Looks like Kauai out here. It was beautiful. The energy, the attitude that I saw on the football from everybody, coaches, even the media was excited. Players, it was a good first day. But the first day is easy. It's easy to be excited day one. But they know they only have 15, so we're down one. We got 14 more to go, leading into a lot of action in the month of April.
Okay, we will talk a little bit about the team in just a moment, but there are some other activities going on this spring. Maybe you want to let people know about a couple scrimmages coming up, a clinic. Just give us a few of those details.
Okay, April. Fridays will be our scrimmages. They're still in the morning, though. You're going to have to come out 8 to 9:30, and as I know you're working on some things that we might talk about in the next outtake. But that's going to lead into our spring game, the last weekend in April, the last Saturday. And the day before that Friday, we're going to have a coaches clinic right over here at Hoffman Hall, right off the field, and take care of local coaches in the Northwest, show them what we have going, show them what's being built, and just show them where Viking athletics is headed.
Okay, and for information on that coaches clinic, you can go to barneyball.com. There's information on that if coaches are interested. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the football team. I put a preview out the other day. I mentioned a few of the questions going into spring. Obviously, the first question everybody wants to know about all the time is, what's your quarterback situation? And it's going to be different this year. Got a couple of guys really vying for that spot right now. Davis Alexander, redshirt freshman. Josh Kraft, who has played quarterback, but the last 2 seasons has played at wide receiver. And those are the 2 guys you're looking at. Break down their games for us.
Game changed. Alex is out. But that's college football. That's life, and I like the 2 guys vying. I like Hintner. Hintner's, made a run. I saw him do some good things there. But they all kind of mirror. That's our offense. Our package has a quarterback that can run and throw, and they each have their strengths and weaknesses. So Josh is back. Like I said, got beat out by a very good quarterback, Alex Caressa, and has been at receiver the last 2 years, but Josh's mind and winner and knows where the ball is supposed to be, has him a step ahead of everybody right now. But then you have Davis Alexander, who honestly, you're just waiting. We saw the videos. It's like fishing. We saw people catching fish when we watched him in high school. And said, "Wow, look at that!" And now he's here, and we finally got his license. So opening day is coming up, and he's like a lake. He's like a river we haven't fished yet, but we know there's fish in there, so I'm going to see how good he's going to be. The ceiling on him is unlimited.
That is quite an analogy, and I'm going to work through that later on, try to figure it out. Also on offense, running back is going to be an issue in terms of who's going to get the carries this year. Lost some guys from last year, seniors. And you made an important point to me also. You brought in a number of new tight ends. You got a lot of tight ends coming back, but you brought in a few new ones, and kind of explain why your philosophy on beefing up that tight end position.
Defenses run or defend you by personnel. That's the majority of it. So if you have little guys in, they're throwing it. If they only have one tight end, it's 50-50 and so forth, so on and so forth. But I want that line to be as long as possible. With guys that can run, block, and catch. Because now the defense loses that personnel advantage, and it's on us again. Between that and being able to run the ball, and all of a sudden you look like you're in 2-back, then all of a sudden you're 2 tight ends, then all of a sudden they're split out in your 4 wides with those kids of that size. I wanted to add that to the offense, and we were able to do it. A whole different world in the red zone now. When you put those, 6'3" to 6'9" guys out there that weigh 250 pounds, 240, catching the football. So, an element of the offense I wanted to add, and I finally got to do it.
Okay, we'll touch on another point here. We'll move to the defensive side of the football. Tremendous number of injuries last year. Really made it a challenge for the defense. A lot of freshmen got in there that you might have held back and redshirted, but a lot of freshmen got some experience. So there are, frankly, quite a few sophomores on that defense this year. How do you feel about that? Is this the point at which maybe the guys have a little experience so they can really make a step forward as a defense?
You know, in the offseason, Mike, we sit around, we break down, you know, what happened last year. And we lost 4 games on the last drive of the game, last drives. We lost 5 games in the fourth quarter with a bunch of young kids, especially on defense. So I'm excited about that. We are, you know, sophomores, and we have 2 classes on top of each other now, and the year after this we'll have 3, and that's when you start to see a program win every season. So I like where they're at. I like what their off season was. We did a lot of competition, trying to gain back that inch. We lost a lot of games. You know, it's a game of inches, and we came up on the short end of the stick last year. So we did everything in our power to make sure in those situations, and we're going to put them in those situations again this spring. The kids don't know it yet, but I have some one-hit wonders where I'm going to call them up during practice, and we're going to relive some situations that we failed in last year just to prepare them for that scenario. So, yes, there's some youth, but I like where they're at and where they're going.
Okay. By my line of questioning, you kind of know what I'm looking at this spring. What are your goals? Give me 2 or 3 things that you're looking at in the next 15 practices that you want to see progress made by the Vikings.
I want the energy to always be there, you know, because our crowds, Mike, run, depending on where you're playing, from nil to fill. You know, you never know what the stadium's going to be. So we can't rely on that, and I like that part of the guys. They're playing for each other. That energy from coaches and players, I see that on the football field right now. I need to develop some guys because we have some open spots, key spots. Linebacker, quarterback, obviously, and there's some receivers that we added that I need those 3 position groups to come together. And defensively, probably a little more back to the basics. We're going to keep it simple, especially for the first week. Leading into the first scrimmage on defense this year, then you'll see them open up a little bit, but playing fundamental football.
All right, there it is from the coach. Viking football has begun for the spring. We remind you, Portland State will have a scrimmage a week from Friday. That's April 14th in the morning. They practice 8 to 9:30. Come on out. We may have a little something special for you. We'll get you some more details on that soon to come. Coach's Clinic down the road the day before the spring game, and, of course, the spring game, April 29th, right here at Stock Community Field. That is Viking football with Bruce Barnum for today. Get all your information at govikes.com.